So now I've drafted the basic bodies. I'm going to explain how I draft it now. So now this is our half length is 16. That is from the shoulder to the waist measurement 16. Then we added one. Half for the down parts for folding, then half for the upper part for joining to the back side. So for the neck parts, we go up by 3, then coming down by 2 and a half because it is not too low. It's a little bit high on our neck. So we have 3 by 2 and half. So how we got our back measurements, our back is supposed to be 13. So 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. Then plus 5 will make it 7. So the half we added is the joining to the sleeve. So we measured 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 down to this place. How do we get this place? Our armhole used to be 8, so we measured from here, so it give us 8. That was why we stopped at this side, because armhole used to be 8. Then for this upper slanting, you go down a little bit by half an inch, then you slant it to the neck side. So that will give us the slants at the shoulder. Use your freehand sketching to make the armhole curve, and if you have your ruler you can as well use your ruler to just make the armhole curve. Then from that's your armhole curve, you are going to measure your bust measurement 33 divided by 4. Then once you divided it, you answer plus 2. That's your bust measurement 33. Our bust measurement is 33 divided by 4 plus 2 for sewing allowance. So we have our 10 quarter here. So that's for the bust. So now how are we going to get the half length by that is the round waist? You remember it said from the upper shoulder down to the waist is 16 plus 1 inch. That's half for the folding down, then the upper half for the joining to the back. So now you come down to the waist part, you divide your waist by 4 plus 2. Mind you, when measuring your clients, don't make that part too tight, because on the picture we are seeing there, the waist side is a little bit free. So my client, I measured her as 31 instead of 29. So 31 divided by 4 plus 2 is giving me 10. 9 3/4, that's 9.8. So that is how I got my round waist. Then I cut it out. No, we then shape it, cut it out. So now let's go to the back side. So for the back, I'm going to place my front fabric on the back one, fold it as well, folded the back as well. Then you add your zip sewing allowance 1.5 inch. Then I added 1 inch at the upper part of the shoulder here for the slanting. If I sew it finish, I'm going to show you how it's going to look like. So it's going to come down here to the front a little bit. That's 1 inch down, 1 inch. Then I come down as well with 2 inch by the 3. Remember we used 3 from here to here the other time, so now we are going to use 3 as well. And you see from here to here is 3. So this is my zipper allowance. I curved it and I cut out. I believe we know how to do that. So then after that, we are going to divide our fabric. That we remove the front fabric away from the back one. Then you divide it by 2, like use your scissors and cutting it into 2, because you are going to be using a zip there. So after that, you're going to notch the zip part where your zip is going to be starting from. You notch it with the scissors in the upper part, and then down part as well you notch it. I believe you can see the sign here. So this shows where my zip space will be. So thank you. So we'll continue our video and the skirt. So now this is for the skirt. I've shaped it out. I'm going to explain as well. When drafting out the skirts, we are going to be making use of our length, skirt length, your length plus 1.5. Our length is 27 plus 1.5 is 28.5. One for folding down, then the half we're gonna use lining to turn it in. So now we'll move next to her band, that is our waist. Our waist divided by 4 plus 2. Remember to add your 2 for your sewing allowance. It's either you add your 2 or you add 1.5, but I prefer using 2, so there will be enough allowance inside. So your band divided by 4 plus 2 will give you the measurement. You chalk it here. Then how do we get from here to here? Like I said on the measurement, our waist to hip is 7, so we measured 7, can you see, plus the half. Remember I said we're going to be using half to turn the lining in, so everything will be 7.5. as we can see here, 7.5. then we'll chalk it here, 7.5. We're folding our fabric using our hip measurement. From here to here, we'll be using our hip measurement to fold our fabric. That's supposed to be the first thing I'm supposed to talk about before all this. Our hip divided by 4 plus 2 is going to give us 11.7. So this is it, 11.7. I use in folding this fabric. As we can see, 11.7. I use it in folding this fabric. So like I said, from here to here is 7.5. I chalked it, then I measured my 11.7 here. This is it. Then my half length skirt is 17, and the measurement which I showed earlier is 17. So this is where I measure my 17 from the upper part to this, but this is exactly the skirt length, but I'm stopping here. This is my half length skirt, which is 17. So from here 17 will come up a little bit by 3, because we need to shape the skirt. The down is a little bit pencil, so from that 17 we'll take our tape 3 upward. So I marked my 3 upward. So from that side, from this 3 upward, I'm going to measure my 11.8 up to this my hip. From here to here is my waist to hip, while from here to here is my hip. This side is my half length skirt. So once I measured my hip all around that, then I will come to this place, the dot one from the hip measurement. Remember I said the hip measurement is 11.7. So here I'll be using -1, I'll be using 10.7. So this is 10.7. Then I'll chalk it down, so I'll connect everything together. This is how I got my skirt drafting. Then I'll cut it out and place the back as well, add 1.5. So I'll show you that one. This is how it looks like when we cut it out. Remember to always cut out of the shock. Don't cut below the shock, cut above the shock, because the part we chalk is the exact measurement. So if you cut below it, it's going to reduce it. So always cut outer. So now let's cut out the back side. We'll be placing the front on the back fabric to cut it as well. So all we need to do is just to add a zipper allowance of 1.5 inch, then you trace it out and cut. That's all. Then as well, don't forget to notch after you leave the allowance for the zipper. Instead of adding my 1.5, I've placed the front and the back fabric. So now I want to cut it out. This is my allowance. Yeah, the 1.5 round down You understand? That's all. Then we'll just cut, follow the shape of the front. The only difference is the back that you're adding the zipper allowance. That's all. Then you cut out, please. And don't forget to cut behind the choke, not below the choke. Thank you. That's all for the skirt. So I'll show you when I'm done cutting now. Like I said earlier, always chalk your back fabric so you won't end up sewing the front as the back, because this fabric, the front and the back looks alike, so I have to chalk it. Then I'm done cutting, so let me just divide my front from the back. Like the back, I want to divide it by 2 because of this. Then you notch as well, don't forget to notch like this. Then cut this part, that's the back part, to show that this is where the zip is starting from. This is what it will look like after you've notched it, after you done notching up and the down part. Now the down part. So now we're done cutting our skirts. All we need to do now is to line it, then sew. That's all. Thanks for watching. So this I've drafted, I've shaped it out but not cut. I'll be explaining as usual. The sleeve length is 34. So like I said, back to short sleeve 34. So our back is 13. 13 divided by 2, that's 6.5. I'm going to deduct 6.5 from the length of my sleeve. So 6.5 from there, I'm going to measure my 34. So this is where my 34 stop. Then plus 1.5, one for folding down, then half for joining it to the sleeve. You remember I added half in the sleeve, that's the armhole side, just to join it together with the sleeve. So as well, you'll be doing the same to the sleeve, half to join it to the sleeve. So everything will be 35.5. As you can see, I'll be deducting my back measurement from the sleeve, so it will be 35.5, that's 35.5. So now how do we get the space? I just made a freehand sketch in here. I don't really need to shape it up because it's a free sleeve, as we can see in the video. So from here I just measured 10. From here I made a schwa X, as you can see, a freehand sketching a schwa X to the point where my measurement stopped. Then when I measured it, it was giving me 10. You know our hammer cuff is 8. Then we have to leave a little sewing allowance, so it will be excess, a little excess. So everything, when I measure it was giving me 10. Then I slant it with my tape, then use my chalk. That's from this point I slant it, so you can see the shape is out. This is the shape of the sleeve. So I'm going to cut it out now. I believe you understand what I did here. I'll be cutting it out now and show you guys how it looks like. A schwa X. Everything is giving me 10 because my armhole measurement was 8 plus 2 for the allowance, and this might not be up to, it's a choice, but make sure you give enough allowance so there won't be need of joining or adding more material. So that's why I make my too. So I'll be cutting out and show you how it looks like. So this it, I'm done cutting. As we can see, a schwa X. I'm done cutting. All I need to do is to notch the midpoint. So I'll be notching here. I'm just trying to make sure the two sleeves are together, so for me to notch, as you can see, I'll be notching to get my midpoint, so I'll know where to put. So I'm not notching, as you can see. So that's all I have for the video. So this is the two sleeve. I cut it together. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to chalk it to know to differentiate the back fabric from the front fabric. Breeze is really dumb. So I've chalked this to differentiate it from the back fabric, and as well you can also use this to differentiate it. As you can see, this is written upside down. Guaranteed mass is written upside down. Why this is correct? So that is how I got to know that this is the back fabric. So I have to chalk it. Chalk the other side as well. Thanks for watching.